then we move on to the last question, which is on foreign policy, which many of you may interest the most. I mean, we're living in tough times in the moment. We have like I mentioned earlier already, the war in the Ukraine. We have further tensions with Israel and Hamas. We have an increasing tensions also between America and China. NATO alliances and relationship with key partners are being tested, while the role of the US as a global leader is increasingly debated. As the US redefines its position on the world stage, the next administration will face significant choices about how to navigate these complex challenges. Ralph, from the Republican perspective, what should the US role be in addressing these global crises, and how would your party ensure national security while maintaining global leadership?
All right, I'm supposed to answer this within the next 120 seconds, oh my goodness.
I give you 2 minutes.
All right, let's draw the big picture. Talking about NATO budget, just want to give you an understanding. No matter, it depends how you count this and calculate this, but out of the NATO budget, the US is about contributing between 60 and 70%, and we have 32 countries, and the rest 31 countries are contributing, each of them, average speaking, of course, 1%. Latvia less, of course, than Germany. But this is the whole problem. So the contribution to international, defense and security is being paid by the US. And I understand perfectly that this, if people are not like standing to their, promises, and if they don't fulfill their contributions, we have a problem. The US will be a partner to Ukraine if the Europeans really do fulfill their part as well. The US will also be tough on China, but they cannot do everything by themselves, and this is a big issue. And supporting also Israel. I mean, Trump said, "Let Israel do the job." I mean, we have in Near East a huge problem currently, and we all for freedom. We all want to stop the war. It's just the same thing in Ukraine. Maybe it needs a big player more than currently the U.S. is playing. Not just supporting Ukraine with weapons, but maybe also sitting together with the war parties on one table. Same story about the Near East. It's all a matter of who is supporting also the U.S. and not just U.S. is supporting NATO and the whole system. This is the current. This is my understanding of the responsibility of the United States towards the world, let's say, security.
Okay, thank you very much, Ralph. Reavis, how would the Democrats approach the same challenge?
I think something that I can say without commenting on foreign affairs is that the Biden-Harris administration has spent a great deal of effort re-linking with our allies and our partners after all the damage caused by the Trump administration. And the US coordinates and cooperates with our partners to figure out the best way forward. And we do it in a mutual and with a good mutual understanding. And I personally find it a bit frightening to think about a Donald Trump coming back into office and just throwing all the good work of the last 3.5 years out the window. Do I get a credit on time for my question?
Your question too.
Oh, I get to do my question.
No,
first.
you get a question now.
All right, there's no time limit on questions. All right, I don't know. I'm only allowed to go for one question, correct?
Right.
Would like to have a couple of them. After the
thing. Yeah, later on at the bar.
I not objecting the current the international approach or the politics of the current administration. I just believe they could have done a little better job. They could have positioned them a bit more in the Ukraine, in my understanding. They're a bit hesitant currently with certain weapons. They're a bit hesitant in the Near East. So basically, my question is, I don't want to get in trouble with you. My question is, why is the current administration a bit hesitant? Either you want to support Ukraine, then do it more. I know you're the greatest supporter, but still, you could do more regarding certain weapons. And same story in the Near East. I don't see that either you step out, you do nothing, or you do more. Why are you like a little bit in between, and I don't know really where it's leading to?
Quite honestly, Ralph, what I can say about that is there's so much going on in the background that neither you nor I know anything about, that I don't really feel I can comment on it in this audience.
Makes sense.
I apologize for
Yeah,
that.
you mentioned it earlier, right? You can't.
Yeah. But I do have a question.
Good. Perfect.
Ralph, given Trump's open admiration for dictators and his disdain for our partners, how do you see NATO and our Pacific partnerships developing under a new Trump administration?
America first doesn't imply America alone. America cannot, as I've mentioned before, cannot be responsible for the whole globe. And I believe Trump is, more or less urging the partners to make their contributions. And if they do so, I think we get aligned with our partners. I don't see NATO getting damaged in Europe under a Trump administration. I understand that the US does not want to contribute for the next 10, 20, 30 years, 60, 70% of NATO budget. There's an imbalance, and that has to be corrected at some point.
Okay, thank you very much. 4 questions, and look